All right, story. Once there was a poor Jew, and his only source of income was being a wagon driver. Wagon driver. In those days, being a wagon driver was pretty simple work. There weren't that many roads. And the main being a wagon driver, you had to go from one city to another city. Sometimes he would take people, sometimes he would take merchandise. And he had two nice, strong horses, but except for those two horses, he didn't have much else. He had a pretty big family. And his house was in bad shape. It was like one of these wooden huts. And the furniture wasn't much to talk about. He basically had no possessions. His pride and joy were these two horses, and they were really good. So one day he was traveling. He was going from one city to another, and suddenly there started a tremendous storm. Broke out a tremendous storm, and it was raining, and it got really cold. And the rain was coming down torrentially, and it just didn't let up. And as he was going, he heard faintly through the wind, the howling wind, he heard someone, help, help, retavit, in Yiddish, help. So he drove, he saw there was someone stuck in the mud, and the rain was pouring on this person. And he, being a sort of a strong fellow, as he pulled this poor Jew out of the mud, and he sat him next to him, and he put a blanket over him, and whatever he had for covering, he had some sort of a means to deal with the rain. And they stopped off at the nearest place that they could stop off at, an inn or whatever it is, a tavern. And they went in and to dry up, and the person said, "Thank you very much." And he looked and he saw that it was the holy, and this is where I forgot the rabbi. I think it's the Rebbe of Tzanz. He says, the holy Tzanz Rebbe, sitting next to him. So, well, I don't believe it. It's the holy Tzanz Rebbe from the, I saved your life. He says, you saved my life. I want to give you a blessing. I said, of course, well, thank you very much, but I'd love to have a blessing. He said, okay, what do you have in your house that's of value? Says, my children, my wife, says, but you have nothing of value? He says, I have my two horses. Two horses, they're strong, they're young, that's how I make my living. So the Rebbe said, okay, one for Passover and one for Purim and one for Passover. So he said, oh, thank you, Rebbe, thank you. One for Purim, one for Passover. The Rebbe was so holy, such a holy person, that he didn't question what he said, and that's all. He didn't say, what does it mean? Thank you, Rebbe, thank you. One for Purim and one for Passover. So the Rebbe went on his way, or he took the Rebbe to where he had to go, whatever it was, and he came back home, and his wife said, "Oh, you're good, you're all right. I was very worried, in the storm." He said to his wife, "You won't believe what happened. It was in the storm, and I saved the Jew's life." He was singing, "Oh, that's really wonderful." And who was it? It was the Rebbe of Tzanz, the Rebbe. And I saved his life, and he gave me a blessing. What blessing? He said, the two horses that we've got. He said, oh, yes, the horses. The two horses, he said, one will be for Purim and one will be for Passover. I said, that is just wonderful. Oh, that is fantastic. One for the blessing of the Rebbe. He said, but what does it mean? He said, I have no idea. I don't know what it means. But it's a blessing. It must be good. Good. So about 2 weeks before Purim, Passover is a month after Purim. So about 2 weeks before Purim, so his wife goes out to feed the horses, as usual, every day. And she comes back to her husband and says, listen, the two horses, there's the white one and the black one. Yes, says, well, the white one, the black one is standing up and he's healthy. What happened to the white one? So, well, the white one, he's laying on the ground, and like one eye is over there, one eye is over there, one leg is like this, one leg is like this, and he's not moving. He says, you mean he's dead? Said, I didn't say it. You said it. He goes out and he sees the horse is dead. So what's he going to do? So he says, well, I can't just lay here. I'll go and I'll ask. So he asks, and people say, listen, you can sell the meat for, some people buy the meat for dogs, and you can sell the hide. Some people, and the hoofs and the tail, this. So he sells everything that he's got. With the money he has, he's never really had so much money. So he decides to make a big feast for Purim. And he invites all the poor people because he's got a lot of friends, a lot of poor people, and they make a beautiful Purim meal that everybody happy. There's nothing like happiness. So everybody happy, especially on a holy thing, and they're all happy. Good. But he still has one strong horse, right? Still one strong horse, and he can still make a living from his one strong horse. And so 2 weeks before Passover, his wife goes out to feed the horse, comes back in and says, my husband said, the black horse? I said, yeah. Said, well, he's laying on his back, and one leg is over here, one leg is over there, one eye is over there, the other eye is over there. He's not moving at all. He's stiff as a board. He's that. Yeah, I didn't say it. You said it. He said, okay. So now he knows a little bit how to sell. So he sells the horse, and he knows how to wheel and deal a little bit better. So he makes a little bit more money from the meat and from the hide and from this. So he decides he's going to invite the poor people for Passover. And so he invites everybody over. Wonderful. 7 days. Everybody, the poor people have what to eat, and they come with their families, and it's wonderful. And his wife says to him, that's what the Rebbe must have meant, one for Purim, one for Passover. That's the blessing. I said, yeah, I guess so, but I don't exactly, everybody enjoyed it, but okay, what are we going to do now for a living? I don't have any horses. I can't pull the carriage myself. So his wife said, listen, take a loaf of bread and some food and start wandering, right? Go on. Maybe you'll find some sort of work. So first of all, he asked everybody around in the city. Nobody had anything. And then he started to walk. So he started to walk. He's walking. And he stops off at an inn. Stops off at an inn. And he's sitting, he's all tired. He's all knocked out. Sits in a corner. Takes out his bread. And he hears two people, non-Jews, are sitting in the corner. And they're yelling at each other, yelling, he's an idiot. He's a maniac. He's an evil person. I hope he drops dead. And they're yelling, where are we going to find someone like that? Where can we find? So our hero, he doesn't have anything to do anyway. So he goes over to these two Gentiles and he says, excuse me, can you tell me, what are you talking about? What's going on? He said, oh, what are we talking about? He said, you have no idea the trouble that we're in. He said, we have the Baron that owns all these lands all around. We are his two managers. We manage his affairs, his financial affairs and everything like that. And he wants us to find him a superintendent to manage all of his, actual, what happens on all of his lands and the workers and everything. And he says, so what's the problem? He says, what's the problem? He said, we've already done it about 15 times. Everybody that we bring, after a week or two, he hates and he kicks out. Some of them he even have them put in jail, and he beats us. He hits us with his whip. He's got a whip, and he blames us for it. Now we have to go and find somebody for him to be his manager, to be the superintendent of all of. You know how much lands he's got? He's got like 100 square miles. Who can be a superintendent? And no matter who we bring, he hates. So our Jew says, listen, maybe I can try. They look at him, oh. So listen, you're Jewish, right? He says, yeah, I'm Jewish. He said, just forget it. Don't put yourself into this trouble. We've got enough problems. He hates everybody. This Baron hates everybody. But the Jews, he hates, even you say the word Jew, he goes crazy. He hates the Jews. There's nothing that. So I said, well, listen, what do you got to lose? You have nobody better. And if he doesn't like me, so what's the worst going to happen? So he'll hit me. At least I tried. So they talk it over. They say I forced myself on you. Tell him I lied. Tell him I told you that I'm not Jewish, that I'm a gypsy or something. Tell him something else. So they said, okay, come with us. So they take him to the Baron. The Baron is sitting there smoking his big cigar or his pipe or something and drinking a bottle of vodka, sitting in front of his big fireplace with his big dogs by his side. And they say, Your Majesty, the Baron. And he turns around and he says, you brought me a Jew. And all of a sudden, the Jew says, we'll call him Avraham for the sake of the story. Avraham says, what would you rather? They brought you a pickle? The Baron said, a pickle? That's really funny. A pickle. That's really a good joke. Why? You're a Jew that knows how to say good jokes? He said, yeah, I also know how to dance too. Everything he says he likes. All of a sudden, God puts in the mind of these stupid things he says, and the Baron is just rolling. He said, I haven't laughed like that in 40 years. This is great. Maybe we'll try you out. What are you here for? He says, I want to be your superintendent. You're going to be the superintendent. How can you be a superintendent? He says, what do you think? I should be a horse. Horse. Anyway, whatever he says he likes. And he says, I'll give you the job. Try it. And our hero, Avram, that he's never managed anything in his life, all of a sudden he takes to it. He's good at it. And he remembers everybody's names, and he remembers what to do, and he gets friendly with all the people, and everybody likes him, and everything is going normally. And the Paritz, the Baron, is out of his mind with happiness. He says, look at all the people that are working, they're all happy, and they're all working well. This is amazing. This is so, you know what? Maybe I was wrong about the Jewish people. Are there more people like you? He says, yeah, all the Jewish people, they're not exactly, but I have a lot of good friends. Tell them all to come here. I'll provide them homes. I'll provide them work. They can build one of their synagogues. They can do whatever they want to. From now on, I'm totally different with the Jewish people. Suddenly, this Avraham, our hero, he realizes that this is the blessing from the Rebbe of Tzanz. If the horses wouldn't have died, he would have been a wagon driver, maybe a good wagon driver. He would have made a little more money. But now it's incomparable to what it was before. Now he's a millionaire, and he helped all these other Jews, and he also made the Baron like them. So he changed the whole entire situation so that everything became ideal, infinitely better than it could have possibly dreamed with his two horses. And that comes to show that sometimes what we think is a big loss can really be a tremendous gain. And that's the idea of the destruction of the two temples. It's like the white horse and the black horse. Maybe we think it's a terrible thing, but in the end, it'll come out to be the biggest blessing of all. See you all, God willing, tomorrow, Friday, 8:15 sharp. Be there and benefit. See you all tomorrow. Shalom.
Have a good day with Mashiach now.